got Professor John O'Connor in to talk all things science. Welcome back.
Thanks, Sarah.
It's nice
back in person.
It is nice to have you back in person, face to face.
It's a bit scary, actually, but you're starting to sort of get used to these new things, and it's not just quite as relaxed as it used to be.
Yeah, I know. Anyway. We're trying to get our heads around it. One thing I wanted to ask you before we get into our chat, did you hear about the 4 astronauts coming back from the International Space Station and the toilet has broken?
Oh, dear.
In their capsule.
This is on the return capsule. This isn't the International Space. That would be really disastrous.
No, this is on the return.
So they just got to cross their legs till they get to the ground.
Well, apparently they've got some incontinence pads on, because I was reading it can take, the first time it took 19 hours to get back. It can take 6 hours. Either or, it's a pretty long trip.
It is, yeah.
Now, look, today we're talking about China's new telescope. We grow up watching movies like E.T. and then, of course, Independence Day and this idea of extraterrestrial life out there. But we've never had any proof that it actually exists. But now we might have the technology to help us find it.
It's an interesting thought because, if we think about aliens, first off, they may not look like us or even be like us in many ways, but they also might have been around for a long time. I mean, if you look at our technology history, it only goes a couple of thousand years.
Yeah.
But, there could easily be civilizations out there that are millions and perhaps even billions of years older than we are. And so can you imagine what we would achieve in 1 million years, let alone 1 billion years? And so there have been people who have looked at, what are the possibilities if you're going to have a civilization around that long?
So they would be far more advanced than us. So the question is, have they found us already?
It's an interesting question. They, of course, they're probably looking. They've probably been looking for a long time. They may well have given up looking, actually, because they've been around so long.
They might be watching us and go, they're pretty primitive, where, they pick up after their dogs. It should be the other way around.
Yeah, well, they may view us the same way as we view worms or something. They're just a very primitive society. But there are ways that we can perhaps identify that they exist, although it is a challenge. And this comes about by what's known as the Kardashev stages. So Kardashev, this is postulated by a scientist a few years back, looking far into the future. And Kardashev 1 civilization is one that uses the entire energy capacity of a planet, all the solar energy coming in and wind and everything, to 100% capacity, which is, we're not there yet.
So we're not there, no.
But we're getting on there. So what happens to a civilization once that achieves that level? Because surely it'll want more energy. And so Kardashev 2 is where a civilization actually builds a huge collector around the sun, a spherical collector. So the whole sun is encased in things like solar panels,
right,
or its equivalent, and it absorbs all that energy. Now, you can imagine what we do with energy. If you had that, which is thousands, millions times more than we have, they can do incredible things. Of course, you wouldn't have people going out there. By then, you'll have invented robots with a bit of artificial intelligence. They're out there constructing this thing. You're sitting back on your planet, sipping your margarita or something.
Oh, I like that.
And thinking, gee, this is really good. But, of course, these things tend to grow more. So they get to the stage, well, we want better and bigger. Maybe they don't. Maybe the robots say, well, we've built this one. What do we do now? Because they've got artificial intelligence. So Kardashev 3...
Oh, that sounds full on already.
Well and truly. That's absorbing the entire energy of a galaxy.
Oh, my gosh. So how big's our galaxy? 100,000 light years?
Yes, it's something of that order. It's huge.
Wow.
And so you can imagine absorbing that sort of energy. And they're looking back at the earthworms on this planet going, we're not interested in them.
Got bigger fish to fry.
That's right. But the thing is, because it absorbs all that energy, it's not easy to find them, because you can't see a star that is no longer there because it's covered in collectors, or a galaxy. But recent calculations have shown that you can't absorb 100%. There's always a trade-off. There's the laws of physics says that there's something that's going to have to still be emitted. And recent calculations have identified the likely frequency in which there would be light emitted. And it turns out that the new Chinese telescope is slap bang right in the middle of that wavelength.
Wow.
So if there are Kardashev civilizations within a few hundred light years of us, they would show up as bright spots
We'll now be able to detect them
and then get very worried.
and then go, oh my gosh, are they coming?
But don't forget,
build the bunkers, please.
come on, these guys have built collectors around entire suns. What are they going to be interested about here on Earth?
Well, that's true.
They won't have to come here and get raw materials. I mean, they've got the raw material. They've got entire planetary systems for the raw materials if they want them. So, I think if they've got to that level, they'll pretty well ignore us.
Okay, so we don't need to, it's not Armageddon yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
Oh, well, John, it's really interesting. So obviously there'll be a lot more that comes out and is this telescope up and running yet?
It's just recently been established. It's but I think the thing is, it'd be great if we don't see anything.
We might sleep a little easier at night.
Right.
Well, John, thank you for that. As if we don't have enough on our plates, now we're going to be scared of aliens coming. Lovely
Thank you,
catching
Sarah.
up with you, and we'll catch up with you again soon.
2NURFM, a broadcast service of the University of Newcastle.